Hi, how are you? My name is Jack, and today I'm going to be introducing you to Crowley, the most wicked Bigshock around. Let's get into it. For those of you who might tune into the channel on the reg, you might notice this is a new location, and that's because I'm back at college, so what can you do? So, considering things are off to a slow start, considering school and not have the materials for my new upcoming project, I thought I would just break down one of the blasters I've made, called the Crowley. It's a modified Bigshock. It's been brassed and singled down to shoot a single elite dart or half length. And it's got a few interesting things on it that make it extremely special. So I'm just going to be breaking those down into what makes this piece of hardware very, very unique. Alright, so in free cam we go. So let's start with some of the external things. As you may notice, it does have a long barrel on it. And that's not just an extension of the brass. It actually connects onto the brass barrel I made. This is called a T-brake, and its specialty is, if you can see in there, it's got fluting, and that actually puts a spin on the dart using the excess air from the barrel, but it doesn't touch the dart. So it's like a bearing scar. It's like a scar barrel, or one of the bearing, the B cars, but better because it doesn't lower your FPS. Then right here, as you may notice, there is an extension made on the original priming handle using two older ones, and then there's also a screw going through here. The screw in the bottom is just to make sure that this bottom one doesn't get ripped off of the main shaft, because there's just such a heavy spring load, and then this is to give your fingers more surface area so you don't shred them when you're trying to prime this blaster. As you no doubt might, be figuring out, it has a very high spring capacity. And then, of course, right here is a new trigger. This trigger is made out of POM plastic, and I have a few more backups made out of some acetal and other plastic. This is a critical piece of it, because without it, the blaster would not be able to be properly primed and fired. But I'll break into it in a sec when we go into the internals, which we're going to do right now. So here is it opened up. As you can see, this cap has been taken off and super glued back on. This was to bust the solvent valve to get the air restrictors out of it, because otherwise it wouldn't work if I didn't take those out. And if you look here, you can actually see that I have somewhat modified the shells with basically filling them with hot glue and then setting this thing in, so that way this bottom piece is kept in place, because as you can notice, even with them in, the spring load is so high that it just wants to try to escape and pull down, which is not a very good thing, obviously. I've also got a similar thing in the back right there, and that's just to hold everything in place. They usually say that with modding comes a decrease in reliability, but I've probably spent more hours developing this blaster than the people at Hasbro ever did with the original Bigshock, so I feel like this might even be more reliable than the originals. But I'm going to be showing you the real juicy bits, which are what's inside the tube. And here's the real magic. So this is what is going on here. So the springs are a 10 kilogram Bigshock upgrade spring, and then nested inside of it is one of the original springs. It's got a very heavy prime weight, which hence why I've had to remake the trigger and the plunger head out of acetal. So this is made out of acetal completely. It was done on a lathe. a makeshift lathe that I had. I did it actually at college last year. I pulled an all-nighter so I could have it ready for a day game the next day. You got the slot, obviously, for the O-ring to fit in, and then it's got a hole going through it so you can put the screw in. Now, the screw goes directly into the shaft. It doesn't use the pin on the original Bigshock because after a while that rips out, whereas this is much more sturdy. And then the washers to keep this rubber head piece in place and just keep everything together. And I mean, this thing is very solid, far more solid than the original ones. You can't use the original ones when you upgrade the spring shaft and remove the air restrictors, because when you do that, there's a weak design in the original ones where the part of it is the area where the plunger rod connects to the plunger head is shallower and the plastic is thinner there, so it naturally busts through this top piece and then you can't use it. So that was a big hurdle to get around. I probably went through, I don't know, like 6, maybe even probably more Bigshocks. I'm in replacement parts and trying to figure out ways to make it work, and then I just had to machine it myself, basically. So anyway, I guess I'll do some firing to really put my money where my mouth is. Alright, I got a few shots, so let's just see how it does. FPS is usually around 90 to 100, so you can kind of get an idea for how effective it's going to be in a battle situation. And that's just the general gist. So, you know, pretty good. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, what's the lesson for today? I don't know. Always have 2 pillows in case you throw up on the first one. Anyway, this blaster kind of represents, it's my magnum opus for modding, I should say. I've put more hours into it than I have with any other blaster, and at the end of the day, it really sums up why I love modding. You get to make something truly unique that isn't like anybody else's. So, thank you very much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. And if you want to see more of what I do, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Thursday, although maybe not now, since I'm in college and I have less resources. But we'll see. I'll try to keep it up. Anyway, I don't got anything else to say, so see ya.